Hello, dear friends. Welcome to this program, our Moments with God, where I try to share with you in a humble and simple way my daily reflections on the daily Mass readings in an informal way, with the hope that this helps you and me in our spiritual journey, in our search for the divine, and also in establishing our relationship or even friendship with God, with Jesus, with the Holy Trinity. And if you are interested to subscribe to this channel, you may please go to the end of the video, and when my picture appears on the right hand side at the bottom, you may please click on that and you will find an option to subscribe, and you may subscribe. And of course, if you like the video, you may like to share it with others, which I would recommend, that so that others also take advantage of this. Thank you. Yesterday, our reading spoke about that man coming to Jesus and asking Jesus, which is the greatest commandment? And Jesus told him two commandments. One is to love God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, and with all your strength. And the second is similar to that, to love your neighbor as yourself. Yes, the first commandment is to love God with all your strength, with all your mind, with all your heart. But if you remember, yesterday, in conclusion to my reflection, I mentioned and quoted from the letter of St. John, where he says, "Let us remember, brothers, that it is not we who loved God first, but God who loved us first." That is an established fact, that we are created by God because God loved us. So when Jesus gave this commandment, or was telling them about the commandment, which is a Jewish custom, to love God with all your heart, with all your strength, and with all your mind, first to remember that we are actually, if at all, only trying to respond to God who loved us first. And how did he love us? He loved us exactly as he's demanding from us, with full mind, heart, soul, and his strength. And today, the church celebrates the feast of the most sacred heart of Jesus. Here is a beautiful picture of the most sacred heart of Jesus, where we see that his heart is pierced with the lance of the soldier, and what comes out from there is blood and water. It springs out from there. And actually, what the Catholic Church, the Catechism of the Catholic Church, teaches us, that what flowed out from the heart of Jesus was, of course, blood and water, but that gave birth to the institution of the church. If I may just read out to you this quote from the Catechism of the Catholic Church, number 766, where it says, "The church is born primarily of Christ's total self-giving for our salvation, anticipated in the institution of the Eucharist and fulfilled on the cross. The origin and growth of the church are symbolized by the blood and water which flowed from the open side of the crucified Jesus. For it was from the side of Christ, as he slept the sleep of death upon the cross, that there came forth the wondrous sacrament of the whole church. As Eve was formed from the sleeping Adam's side, so the church was born from the pierced heart of Christ, hanging dead on the cross." But church, of course, is not just this building or the Vatican or the various institutions that we erect. Church is you and me. And you and me means that this love that we say to express our love to God cannot be just expressed in a vacuum. This has to be expressed in our love for others, exactly as Jesus's love from this heart flows to every person who is in need. Remember, Jesus loved us with his whole heart, with his whole mind, with his whole soul, with his total being. That's why he gave the not only the last drop of his blood, but also the last breath of his life was for others. Actually, for those of us who believe in Jesus, it was for you and for me to save us, to bring us back to him. Sometimes people don't like this word, particularly I know the non-Christians. When I talk to them, they wonder about why should Jesus shed his blood to save sinners and save us from sins. They don't like that word very much. But it is enough for us to say that God expressed his love till the last drop of his blood and for the last breath of his life for you and for me. It's a wonderful feast, actually, the most precious blood, the most sacred heart of Jesus, because the symbol of love is heart. Yeah, it comes out of our heart, and that heart is pierced. So Jesus did not leave anything at all to express his last bit of love. He gave his total self, his last drop of blood. And of course, as Mother Teresa showed us by her life, that she too was expressing her love for God by loving one another, by loving the poorest of the poor, by those people who needed her. Therefore, if we want to express our love to the Sacred Heart of Jesus, we can also go out to the needy, the poor, the lonely, the sick, the depressed people, and all kinds of people who are suffering in some way or the other, or who are alone. That God's love that he has shared with us, we may also share with him. We can speak a lot about Sacred Heart of Jesus, but I think ultimately it means his love for us. I wish you all the very best, and may I wish you that you experience the love of the Sacred Heart also in your heart. And if you would like to subscribe to this channel, you may do it now. And I may inform you that on this very channel, if you have subscribed, you will also find me reading my own book called The Tweeting to God in various chapter forms. You may like to hear and enjoy it too. Thank you.